Something cut through the silence like a knife. A whistle. Mike turned his head slightly as he caught movement from the corner of his eye. He bludgeoned the second creature on top of the head again as hard as he could, stunning it once more. Mike forced the creature, pinning him down upwards with all his might. Its frigid, decayed hands grasped at the air next to his face as the momentum released them from the snow. Mike plunged the machete blade into the beast's skull, rolling over at the same time. The ram flopped to the ground, and Mike had a secondary pause as he looked towards the others closing in on him. They were mere feet away now. He grabbed the other machete, arcing it down and slicing the top of the head clean off the second creature that had attacked him. Mike looked to where he'd seen movement. A rope hung down to the ground from the roof of the empty store next to the pharmacy. On the roof itself stood a hooded figure looking straight towards him. Light snow fluttered around her. There was no time to lose. The creatures were upon him. He ran into two of them, palming them off like he was on a rugby field. He booted another one off its feet, then hearing a growl behind him, turned and, swiping through the air at the same time with his machete, cut a gory trail through its head, causing it to drop to the ground. Another ram came at him and got a blade thrust up through its nose, straight into the brain. Then another attacker appeared. He was about to raise his machete again, and suddenly he heard a different whistle, and a split second later, an aluminium bolt cracked through the top of the beast's skull. Mike looked up and down the street. There were hundreds of rams, far more than he could fight alone. He looked towards the rope, then at the hooded figure on the roof. Whatever lay in wait at the end of that rope had to be better than this. He began to climb, pressing his booted feet hard against the brick surface of the wall. The growls intensified below him. Mike felt the rope begin to sway as a hand from below grabbed it, but he kept his fists gripped tightly over the coarse woven fabric. After what seemed like an age, he clambered over the ledge and onto the flat roof. A teenage girl pointed two one-handed crossbows straight at him. "Drop your weapons and bag on the floor," she said. Mike looked at the aluminium bolts. She'd managed to take out at least one ram with a bullseye shot at 30 feet. He was pretty certain she could make that same shot at 10 feet with no problem. He dropped the machetes and slid the rucksack from his back. "You're not going to try anything stupid?" No." She regarded him for some time, holding her weapons steadily. The snow continued to fall around them. "Who are you? What are you doing here?" "My name's Mike. I needed medicine for my sister." "Where's she?" "Back home." "Where's home?" "The coast."
"Whereabouts?"
"Wick," he lied.
"Is it just you and your sister?"
"Yes."
"What's wrong with her?"
"She's got an infection. She's bad."
"What's her name?"
"Emma. What's your name?"
"We're not making friends here," the girl said. "I'm just figuring out if you're with them or whether you're for real."
"What are you talking about? With who?" The young woman continued to look at him.
"Back up,"
she said, and Mike took a few paces back. She walked forward and crouched down, placing one of the crossbows on the snow while beginning to search through his rucksack.
"You're not from around here."
She stood up again.
"Well?"
"Well, what?" asked Mike.
"I said you're not from around here."
"I know, I heard you. What do you want me to say?"
"I asked you a question," she said, raising the crossbows once more.
"No, you didn't. You made a statement. Where are you from is a question. You're not from around here is a statement," replied Mike.
"You tried to piss off a girl who's got two crossbows pointing at you. Not very smart, is it? Now that's a question."
"Look, I don't know who these people are that you're talking about. I came into the city for medicine for my sister. Believe me, don't believe me, I don't really care. I need to get back to her."
"To Wick? In this? What are you going to do, fly?"
Mike looked out across the white city below him. "I've got to find a way." He put the rucksack on his back, crisscrossed the machete handles into it, and took off his right glove. He offered the girl his hand. "I'm Mike." She paused for a moment, took off her right glove and shook it.
"Ren. I'm Ren,"
she said.